When dealing with scenes so emotional that are so emotionally charged, I deal with such a high level of intensity. It's very important, I think, for me as the actor to be very present with my co-stars, whoever else is in the scene, to be very present with the writer. So much of it has to happen in between the listening of those kinds of scenes so that we can really allow ourselves to be affected by the circumstances of each scene. So it's very tricky to do listening and to be present and being able to do it without looking like you're doing it, trying too hard to do it. So that's very difficult for me because, it also does require like a part of my personal investment in each scene and like what relates to me personally. So it's very vulnerable to be going through Jackie's transformation, and especially when she hits those lows, it can be very, very scary for me, and also incredibly fulfilling.
I know in season 2,
I guess with my dad.
Yeah, stuff with your dad.
Was pretty hard. I mean, especially because she's like Jackie's using in season 2, and then how that informs the relationship with her dad, and you learn sort of a little bit of the history there, and then the pain of what happens between the two of them. I think that was
and then I remember directing the scene when you come over and end up sleeping in the bed with Ray.
Oh yeah.
I felt like you were protecting yourself because you were just like trying to keep it very calm and but giving yourself space, and then but then at the end you fell asleep for real. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, oh good, she's okay,
she's fine. Yeah. Monica's fine, she's not gonna have a breakdown. Yeah, because that can happen too. Yeah. Depends on the day.
I mean, it certainly wasn't a conscious choice. The show was really sparked by this vision of Jackie that I had, and I had a vision of a lesbian fish cop in Provincetown circling out in her alcoholism, and I was like, that's a character, I'll figure out the show afterwards. So that's just how it started, and so that's a no-brainer, that's what it was. I'll just say I felt so lucky to get Monica Raymund to come do this part because she brought the vision to life, and that's such an honor, and it doesn't happen all the time to have someone come in and meet you right there and create something together from the beginning. So it's been a real special ride.
I think the fans are gonna have a hell of a ride. I mean, it is like every single episode ends with the cliffhanger. It's like it's explosive. I don't know how else. Like you think a character is gonna do one thing and then something else happens. So this is like a really good exploration on cliffhangers. Like it couldn't be more extreme for each character. And I think for Jackie specifically, you're watching her go on this road of redemption and how difficult it can be to finally receive that, to get it and accomplish her goal, and how messy it is along the way. But in the end, hopefully she finds some kind of peace in that. I think like on Fire, it was the first time I'd ever played any character in first responder world, and I don't have any family who are first responders. So it was it was like really the first time I ever got to see what it was like to hang out with police officers, firefighters, and learning what that culture is. So that helped me a lot, understanding gallows humor and how they are off the clock, and also like how incredibly serious the job can be, and how they deal with that usually with laughing and humor. And yeah, I think that's probably how it helped me.
Well, I do have a new show coming out on Starz, which is also a sort of propulsive, fun romp with a lot of sex called The Hunting Wives. And then I have a lot of ideas. I'm working on a lot of different things. Always, female forward, always with a crime background, always, I just love twists and turns. I love writing stories that really go somewhere. So just more of that.
If you could describe your new series in one word, what would it be?
Ooh. Sexy soapy. That's 2 words.
Soapy.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm totally going to tune in. I cannot wait.
I like that. And one last question, Monica, if you could describe this last season in a word or two, what would you say?
Like firebomb.
Mm.